Hola amigos, Brad Evans here, and it's time for another edition of Bring the Noise here. This is my AMA ahead of the Week 13 main slate. Hopefully you got off on the right foot on Turkey Day with a 3-pack of games, so maybe Black Friday did you well. How about the Bears, man? They are for real, though they have a number of tests heading down the home stretch, including those pair of matchups, key matchups against the Green Bay Packers. I'm Brad Evans. Some of you may or may not know who the hell this punchable face is, but I run a site called The Gaming Juice that is absolutely free. You need to go there right now and sign up for a free account. I'm always cranking out all of my betting and fantasy football thoughts on that platform, and I'll charge you a dime. All my ranks, which I've been updating throughout the entire week, live there for fantasy. All of my sports betting plays also live there. Free, always transparent, and public spreadsheet. Nate Lundy, who helps me out with the Fade 5 podcast, his picks also live there if you like dropping the puck and making some bucks. A college football forecast from Matt Fortuna, Ben Wittenstein, and Nate Jacobson can be read weekly there. And for those of you that are like tossing hate grenades at some of the work those guys do, get the hell out of here. Look, we don't have all the answers in betting. We put our necks out there, and sometimes they get chopped off. So fade or follow, that, as I always say, is entirely up to you. Respect the work that we're putting together. Again, we're not charging anything there at thegamingjuice.com. So click, converse, and cash. Maybe. Also, go to my friends at Betalytics and sign up with promo code JUICE. Again, that's promo code JUICE for 25% off your subscription today. If you like some of the projections on some of the models that are out there, Rachel Krychak is an absolute stud when it comes to that kind of crunching of the numbers and the algorithms. So use her platform there at the Betalytics.com, and you can use that promo code JUICE for 25% off your subscription today. I'm going to be here for the next several minutes answering your important and pertinent fantasy football questions. Here are the various ways you get a hold of me on this edition of the Bring the Noise AMA. Submit your questions via Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at Big Noise 78, YouTube, and the Fade the Noise channel, and on X, where I'm always trying to give it to you there at Noisy Huevos. Again, on X at Noisy Huevos. All right, before I dive in to all of your specific questions tied to fantasy football, the world of betting, let me give an abbreviated edition of the Fade 5 Countdown. Took the show off on Friday. Lindy and I enjoying time with our families. I hope all of you had a wonderful and gluttonous Thanksgiving. So we'll get back out of it, back out, to the masses, the podcast on Monday, and we'll have the usual Thursday, Friday shows next week. So stay tuned for that. And of course, I'm cranking out all of my written material on my free website there at thegamingjuice.com. All right, numero trace on this edition of the Countdown, a guy wrote about in the Fantasy Flames article this week, which is going to be condensed the rest of the season. I know a lot of you out there already out of the mix in fantasy, and I apologize. I feel your pain, to say the least. So you might be, vying for a playoff spot, and some of you certainly are. So those pieces will be stripped down, featuring a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, a tight end every single week. So I'll have a brand new one out in week 14 and all the way through the fantasy Super Bowls, which is not in week 18. You are not, if you play all the way through the end of the season with a lot of guys getting benched. Anyway, I digress. Numero trace here on the Countdown. Again, a guy wrote about this week in the Fantasy Flames, the ILL standout, and that being Pat Bryant, now of the Denver Broncos, whose role is increasing. And I'm going to get really crazy with the Cheese Whiz here. I say he has the most receiving yards under the prime time line tonight against the Washington Commanders. And look at that. Woo, baby, really rolling the shoulders and getting seduced by the juice there at 15-1. And I grabbed that at BetMGM. Pat Bryant is a guy who's getting 50 to 60% of the snap share. He's running more routes, he's getting more targets, and he's consistently getting open. A very savvy route runner. Really thrives working over the middle of the field on some of those deep posts and slants. Getting appreciable, yardage after the catch as well. I know you got Cortland Sutton. He could have a big game. Troy Franklin is certainly capable of it. But I don't think Washington, at least on that side of it, even with Terry McLaurin back and also Pat Surtain back, is going to lead this game in receiving yards. So Pat Bryant at 15-1, it's not too much of a stretch. He led the Broncos in receiving yards last week. So if you're looking for a Hail Mary chuck as time expires in your fantasy league at the flex or WR3, look at PB, spread them on your sandwich, consume. You might have a shockingly good night. By the way, the standard prop on receiving yards at BetMGM just 22.5. And yeah, I'm a sledgehammer that as well. So yeah, Pat Bryant could have himself quite the nice week. Fantasy betting, however you slice it. Numero dos here on this abbreviated edition of the Fade 5 Countdown. I'm going to live and land down under on Shedeur Sanders, 27.5 pass attempts against San Francisco. I was already getting some questions on social media this morning at Noisy Huevos, in particular on X. Hey, what do we do given the conditions there along Lake Erie? All right, so here's the latest in Cleveland. Snow is moving through the area right now. There may be a flake or two that flies, but it looks like the bulk of the energy has moved off to the north and to the east of Cleveland. So it's not necessarily precip that I'm really concerned about. It's the winds. I live in central Illinois. We got about 7 inches of snow yesterday, but we're on the backside of a low pressure system, and man, did the winds really kick up. Overnight, we had gusts upwards of 40 to 45 miles an hour, and you could have gusts up to 35 to 40 in this game with consistent winds around, sustained winds between 20 to 25 miles an hour. So wind will be whipping, wind will play a factor, I believe, in this Cleveland and 49ers matchup. That's why the total is a super low 35.5. And that's why I'm betting the under on Shedeur Sanders, 27.5 pass attempts against the Niners. This seems like, hey, son, just hand the damn ball off to Quinshon Judkins over and over and over again. And that may be the case. Probably going to be really stripped down playbook, given the blustery conditions there along Lake Erie. And I think Shedeur Sanders will be lucky to throw it more than 25 times. So the under on 27.5, and it's only a minus 110 there at BetMGM. Yeah, I'm firing off on that bad boy, despite the susceptibilities of the San Francisco 49ers defense this season. And numero uno on this edition, abbreviated edition of the Fade 5 Countdown. Let's go ahead up and serve us some brisket. I like Jacoby Brissett on the over 1.5 passing touchdowns at a minus 105 there at BetMGM. Brissett has scored at least 19 fantasy points in 6 straight games. I got him firmly ranked inside my quarterback top 15 this week, and he could very well be a QB1 yet again, because you look at Tampa, they're really struggling on the back end defensively. Number 18 in dropback EPA defense on the season, giving up 7.69 pass yards per attempt and 1.72 passing touchdowns per game. That's greater than the 1.5 there. 6 quarterbacks have thrown for at least a pair against them, and they have given up at least a pair through the air in 3 straight games. You look at Brissett, he has gone over this prop in 5 of his last 6. He's top 15 in red zone completion percentage. He's top 15 in adjusted completion percentage. And we got some good news this morning. Marvin Harrison Jr., coming back from the appendectomy, is going to be in uniform, and Michael Wilson has exploded. Trey McBride, I think, is an interesting candidate to spike one home as well, a plus 135. So my numero play here in the main slate of NFL Week 13 games, gimme Jacoby Brissett on the over 1.5 passing touchdowns there at BetMGM, and a nice juice at a minus 105. All right, there is a friendly reminder, and I'm just retweeting this on social media, trying to juggle things in multitude on the same broadcast. Yeah, I'm producing the show. I'm a social media manager for the show, and I'm the jackass on camera for this show as well. So there are various ways you can see right there on your screen. You submit your questions, and I will answer them here in order via Facebook at Yahoo Noise, Twitch at Big Noise 78, YouTube at the Faith and Noise channel, and on X at Noisy Huevos. Again, on X at Noisy Huevos. Again, friendly reminder, go to my website, thegamingjuice.com. It's absolutely free. You get all of the big noise on every single inch and capacity of me, whether across the NFL, and soon, once the calendar flips to the new year, we'll start rolling out some college basketball content, but I'm betting on the sport every single day. And of course, you can always see my plays, the always free and transparent spreadsheet there on my site. And go to Betalytics, my friends there, and use that promo code JUICE. Again, promo code JUICE for 25% off. They're impeccable and invaluable projections, which I use every single day, whether set my fantasy lineups or firing off on my player prop bets. So use that promo code JUICE for 25% off today. All right, let's go in and get after it. I got a number of your questions coming in. And again, I hope you guys had a great holiday. And starting things off from TB12. Hola, Brad. Happy Thanksgiving. Well, it's belated. But the leftovers are still rocking and rolling here at Casa de Evans. 49ers versus a rookie, possible snow or Fins at home. I'll take the Niners in a game with a suppressed total of 35.5. And Shedeur Sanders likely going to throw a pick, though how many passes will he throw? Again, I don't think he's going to exceed 25. I think the snow is mostly going to be gone by the time the game kicks off, and there is going to be a lull in the action with the next chance of precipitation after 4 p.m. Eastern time. So the game should be over by then. So I don't think the snow is going to play a factor at all. It's just the wind and the cold. Those will play factors. So I'm going to go with San Francisco there and pick on Shedeur Sanders. Clint says, hola, senor. Way ahead this weekend. All leagues looking ahead. Should I drop RB4S and RB4s and WR4s for Tesla / Strange? Yeah, I think you'll probably drop your WR4, whoever that is, for Britton Strange. Tesla, we'll see. It sounds like the report's not disastrous. It was a garden variety ankle sprain for Amon-Ra St. Brown. So he could return in short order. I'd be honestly shocked if he missed any time. So I wouldn't go head over heels for Tesla. But Britton Strange, I think, is here to stay. And yes, I bet on him too in the over. 3.5 receptions today. Hola, amigo. Hola from Phil, C3 to PPR. Sorry, got a lot to choose from. Parker Washington, Tez Johnson, Waddle is in. Michael Wilson is in. So it comes down to Higgins, Johnson, Gadsden, Parker Washington, Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson. I'm going to go with Oronde Gadsden as the number 3 there. I think he's got to catch at least 4 balls. We're going to shot for 50 yards and a touchdown. Sean says, hola, amigo. Hola to you. Half-point PPR, need 1 RB2 and a flex out of these. Ron, Aaron Jones, Kamani Vidal, Devin Neal. That's not going to be Devin Neal. Or DK Metcalf. Okay, so need an RB2 and a flex. Vidal is in. And I might flex, honestly, DK Metcalf here. A little bit more upside. I obviously worry about Max Brosmer and what he could really bring to the table for Minnesota. I got to see it to really believe it. So that limits and mitigates the upside of Aaron Jones. Devin Neal, I know it's a premium matchup against Miami, but he was a little bit dinged up earlier this week. He's going to be good to go. Game flow and script, I would be, quite worried about as a result of how much action he's going to get. Vidal is going to get a heavy workload. He's a heavy favorite to lead that game in rush yards, and understandably so, with them being heavy favorites. So, yeah, Vidal and DK are my top 2 choices there. Peter says, yo, Brad, go ILO, go Monmouth. And of course, he loves his Monmouth. Thanks as always. Would you start Devin Neal or Vidal? Again, for the same reasons I gave it to Sean, I'm going to go Kamani Vidal. He's like minus 165, minus 170 to lead his game in rush yards. And I look at the matchup, it's Vegas. And now Vegas has been decent against the run. They were a hell of a lot better earlier this season. But that should be a very positive game script in a contest in which the Chargers could win and win convincingly. So I think Vidal's got a really good shot, 70 combined yards and a touchdown. Far more upside, in my opinion, compared to Devin Neal. Phils, hope your family had a great Thanksgiving. Same to you, Phils. PBR from Tommy. I need to Sutton, Abuka, Vidal, and Stafford or Nick. Stafford's in automatically. I know Nick's has a delightful and delectable matchup, but Stafford getting you, 2 to 3 touchdowns every single week, along with like 250 yards. I don't think he's going to take his foot off the gas. He wants to win MVP in the worst way. I'm going to go Sutton for one, and I would go probably a Mecca Buka. It's really close, but I got to maximize the matchup with Sutton against Washington. And with Baker Mayfield back, yeah, I feel a little bit more confident there with a Mecca. Anthony says, let's see, vino mi amigo. All right. Bueno, bieno. I don't know. I took 4 years of Spanish. I don't even know what all this means. Sutton, Mechie, or Parker, Washington, and a half-point PPR. I got to go with Sutton. Look, it's Washington. They're dead last in pass EPA defense on the season. Walking wounded. They're already thinking about sipping Mai Tais in a Caribbean island in short order. Yeah, I would go with Sutton there, and I'll try to brush up on my basic ass Spanish. Thomas says PBR, Scary Terry or Sutton. Again, I'm going to go with Sutton there. I know McLaurin is back. I simply do not trust him, especially in a matchup in which he may see a lot. Pat Surtain, the only Sutton. Morning, amigo. Morning to you. Half point PBR. Walker or Gainwell on the flex. Love me some the third this week. I think he's got a really good shot of 70, 80 combined yards. A really good shot of finding the end zone as well. Seattle, double-digit favorites in that one against Minnesota. Trying out Max Brosmer. And again, the biggest weakness of the Vikings, defending the run all season. They'll probably get owned in the trenches today. Bill says, good morning, Brad. Hola. PPR, pick 2, Ted McMillan, Woody Marks, or Vidal. McMillan is in. Vidal is in. Woody Marks, he's pretty close to Vidal, but I'm not overly confident. Not exactly chewing up a lot of real estate. Also, would I be crazy to bench Danny Dimes from Brosmer? I still play Danny Dimes with a fractured fibula. He's got to play through that nonsense, but I know it's risky. It's really risky for both guys, but Danny Dimes in a wheelchair I would take over Max Brosmer right now. Clint says, way ahead. I think he's asking for next week. Got Q today and bench Dowdle for D. No, I'm not benching Dowdle for DK or Gainwell. No, stop it. You're playing Rico Dowdle. Coda says Seahawks D or Broncos D. Give me the Broncos, please, and thank you. Ryan says, hola, amigo. Greetings from snowy Northern Illinois. Hey, snowy Central Illinois as well. PPR flex between DK, Strange, Winner Strange, or Waller. I also have Kittle playing in bad weather in Cleveland. I would still stick with Kittle. A really good shot. He could find the end zone, though the yardage number could be suppressed. And I'm going to go with Brenton Strange for the other one. Look, I bet him on the over 3.5 catches. I think he's got to catch at least 5 balls. And Tennessee, pretty damn weak defense overall. I know, Trevor Lawrence is getting his full stable of wide receivers back. But I still think Strange is going to be a point of emphasis. Rob says, I need upside bad. PPR pick 4. Okay, upside here. Kenneth Walker is upside. Terry McLaurin is not upside, not that match. Wandale is upside. Johnson is upside. And Pierce is upside. So there you go. Johnson, Wandale, Alec Pierce, and Kenneth Walker the third. Rob, good luck to you and try to dig it out of that hole. You want to know who's not eliminated yet? This guy, 10-2, clinched the playoffs. Yeah, way to go. Congratulations, Pete. Pat yourself on the back. Pour yourself a tequila, raise yourself a glass, cheers yourself there in the mirror. Let's see. Scott says Devin Neal or Woody Marks and a half-point PPR. Close. I would go with Woody Marks here. I think they're interchangeable, quite frankly. So really, really close. Coda says half-point PPR need 2 running backs. Warren, Gainwell, Walker, and Chubbs. I think Charbonnet is going to score a touchdown. He is in. I'm going to play Jalen Warren for the other one. Yes, I took the over immediately on his rush yards. I mean, look at who the Steelers are going against. A defense in Buffalo that I think is now third to last or fourth to last and rush EP80. They got all kinds of injuries on that front. That's where they have been gashed repeatedly. I think it's going to be more of the same. It's going to be a heavy ground emphasis, I believe, today for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's where I roll with. Justin says, good morning, you jackwagon. Good morning to you jackwagon. Ted McMillan or Michael Wilson? I'll go Wilson. Even with Harrison back, the chemistry is built. What Jacoby Brissett has been unbreakable, and I think Brissett's just got to go off through the air in this one. Vidal or Devin Neal? I'm going to go Vidal, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving as well. Good luck to you, Justin. Gary says, let's see, BTJ, that's Brian Thomas. Debo or DK in a PPR? I will take, I'll go with DK Metcalf there. A decent shot to find the end zone. Not the greatest matchup on paper, as Buffalo was number 6 in drop back EPA defense. But again, I think he's got a little bit more upside than the other guys there. Bucky or Devin Neal? Here I go Bucky Irving, even though he's going to be on some sort of a pitch count. I still think he'll get probably at least a dozen carries. Likely more upside there compared to Devin Neal. Let's see. Al Fuller says, hola, amigo. Do I need a little booty? Hunter Henry or Scary Terry? I go with Hunter Henry here. Far more upside inside the red zone. Booty is kind of a make or break 9-route, go route, streak route receiver. And then Scary Terry, first game back in an eternity. Congratulations. You get the Denver Broncos. Congratulations. You're likely going to get a whole lot of Pat Surtain. Any major weather to worry about outside of Cleveland? I don't think so at the moment. Let me go ahead and pull the forecast in Pittsburgh, see if this storm system that was impacting my part of the country is. Now, I mean, they're going to be in the warm sector, a little bit breezy, but a 50% chance of rain, highs in the 40s. Other than that, I'm honestly not overly concerned about any of the weather. Cleveland obviously is going to have a problem. You look at DC, looks like the rain's got to push out of there by nightfall. So yeah, I don't think there's anything that's going to really be impactful across the country. So Cleveland is more or less it. So there you go. Sean says one more and a flex. Half point PPR. I need one on Genty, Vidal, or DK Metcalf. Here I go, Genty. I love the fact that they're featuring more and more of him in the pass game, and he could be busy as a check down weapon today against the LA Chargers. And again, Chargers are favored by, I think, 11.5, 12.5 points. So Genty is not too bad at all. And he goes, I'm following the Stranger Things props on the Gaming Juice, crossing my fingers. Yeah, there you go. Good luck to you. Hopefully I'll stay hot. Again, I had a whale of a Thanksgiving day, a decent outing as well. I had a live bet on a common unguided touchdown in that Bears and Eagles game. I watched the first quarter. I'm like, I don't think Philadelphia can stop these guys on the ground. He'll get his eventually, and sure enough, he did. So, yeah, fade or follow, as I always say, that is up to you. I just put my opinion out there, and you can decide the rest. Anybody that throws shade at me or any of my other compatriots, we're throwing out some betting plays. Let's say you put your neck out there. Let's say you try to make it compelling and either writing or conveying your opinions in front of a camera or behind a mic. Guess what? You're probably not going to, because you're a fraidy cat. And guess what? You're probably not going to do it in an infotaining way. So you always take any gambling or any fantasy advice with a giant grain, the entire mine of salt. Fade or follow, that is up to you. And that's what you got to remember, because we just give an opinion. You make the ultimate decision. From a whole bunch of characters, I have no idea what they mean. Orada Gadsden or Jawan Johnson, easily Gadsden there. Clint says, drop a turkey leg, senor. Brisket gets 35 plus pass attempts. Bucky gets 3+ receptions first game. All right, there you go. So he's got a couple of two-leg same game parlay there from Clint. I kind of like the Brisket side of it. The Bucky one, who the heck knows what his ultimate workload is going to be. Yeah, same to you, Sean. Hope you had a good turkey day. Clint says, first game back, Kyron gets, let's see, cultured by Corum after blowout lead. I'm not replaced. I'm not really sure what that means exactly. Steve says, hola, Brad. Hola, good sir to you. Full PBR flex, Vidal or Michael Wilson? I go Michael Wilson here. Look, I think these guys are very similar in terms of ranking at the flex position. Vidal probably going to get you around 15 or so touches of what should be a positive game script. But man, Wilson has been unstoppable here of late. And as I mentioned before, I wrote about on the Gaming Juice this week. I like Jacoby Brissett. I know Harrison is back, but I don't think Wilson is all of a sudden going to take a back seat. He's been too damn good to really play a second fiddle. Eric says, good morning. Good morning to you. I need to pick two and a non-PPR. McMillan, Wilson. Wilson's in. Sutton and Shakir. I'm going to go with Sutton with the touchdown appeal and upside. You got to have a little bit of slice of the pie, if you will, in that matchup against Washington defense, as I mentioned before, dead last in drop back EPA defense. Adam says, with Neal starting for the Saints, how much of a nuisance do you think Taysom Hill is going to be for them starting Neal? He could be a nuisance. That's the other downside of rolling with Devin Neal, is that Taysom Hill in red zone packages will come in at quarterback. He'll either throw, call his own number. Hey, maybe he'll even throw a pass to himself. I wouldn't doubt it. The man has a multitude of talents at the expense of one Devin Neal. So I know everybody is getting, I know a lot of people broke the piggy bank to acquire Neal via Fab this week. And they're like, I got to play him. Well, it depends what your options are. I got him ranked around running back 30. I'm not particularly high. Miami could blow him out. Yeah, the Dolphins, for real. I mean, they're very much in the playoff hunt, even with their head way below 500. Look at the rest of the season schedule. It's delightful. So, yeah, I would pump the brakes a little bit on Neal. I think he's more flex-worthy than a surefire RB2. Roger says Brissett or Baker. Baker, the touchdown maker. Let's go Brissett for me. Look, I took the over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Baker is not healthy. He's a warrior. He's gutting it out. I get it. Arizona's a beatable defense. I get that. But, you know, he could take one bad hit and sayonara. Could be exit stage left for him on the sideline. So why risk it when he got the Brissett or the brisket? Let's see. Blurpy says Herbert, Brissett or Baker. I'm going to go Brissett out of that triumvirate. A pick two, DK, Diggs, and Jefferson. God, Diggs is in. Man, do you bench Jefferson? I think I do. I would rather go with DK Metcalf there. I just do not trust Max Brosmer. Watch, he'll go out there and channel Frank Tarkenton or something. Pick two, Judkins, Vidal, Kyron, and Travion Henderson. Give me Judkins. Oh, I might go Travion for the other one. I think he's going to score a touchdown to get at least 50 yards. So nice little floor there. Now it says DK or Theo Johnson. I go DK, barely. TB says one more. PBR Ekbuka or Dowdle. Give me Rico Arena Dowdle. Roger says full point PBR need one out of Devin Neal, Dowdle, or Judkins. I'll go Rico Dowdle again there. More from Sean. Worry about Jennings in Cleveland, or should I go Jaden Higgins? Look, Higgins is a great pivot point against Indianapolis. I'd probably go Higgins, quite frankly. I don't know how much quality passing is going to occur in that San Francisco and Cleveland game. And again, you're looking at a total of 35.5. And I was, checking the national weather's forecast from NOAA and the latest in Cleveland. It doesn't sound great. Let me go ahead. I'll read you directly what the forecast is. Let me go and pull it up here in real time. You're like, oh, yeah, Brad's full of it, man. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. I have an advanced degree in geoscience with an emphasis in meteorology. Okay, so look at the latest radar imagery. Precip has already moved out. Like I told you, it's probably going to be flurry activity, if anything, during the course of the game. So the field's going to be fine, but the winds are going to be consistent, sustained 26 to 29 miles an hour. And you're going to have gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour, 44 to be exact, straight from the NOAA website. And I think that's going to be, consistent, persistent throughout the entire game. So that really limits some of the passing appeal in that contest. So as a result, yeah, I'd pivot, man. I go with a game that's being played in a dome all day long. Joe says Gainwell or ETN. Close, but I'll go with Travis Etienne there. Ryan says, normally when asked, but Stafford or Josh Allen. Look, man, this is a lucky seven situation. I don't think you can lose either way. Pittsburgh is not been the steel curtain. They've been the soft curtain for much of the year. So I'm still going to play Josh Allen because of the rushing upside. Now, Stafford may go out there, throw 2-3 touchdowns, but Allen could get you maybe a couple of passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown as well. So I think a little bit more appeal there for Josh Allen. Joe says, different league, Breece Hall or Gainwell? A lot of Gainwell questions. I'm going to go Breece. I know Gainwell showed up last week, but how much is he really going to play? 30%? 35% of the snap share? Yeah, I'd take it easy. I wouldn't chase last week necessarily. Al says, one more, amigo. Baker or Herbert? Definitely go with Herbert there. Doug says, hola to you, half-point PPR. Jennings, Neal, or Alec Pierce? Not Jennings. I'd probably go Neal here with the guaranteed touches. It's close between him and Pierce. Malcolm says, pick two, Vidal, Bucky, Neal, Warren, or Marks. Warren is in. And I'm going to go with Vidal for the other because there are not a whole lot of questions about workload. Dave says Vidal or Gadsden. I go with the guaranteed volume here. And Kamani Vidal. Questions still coming in hot and heavy. Keep them coming, folks. Malcolm says, in a flex, Walker, Michael Wilson, Charbonnet, Neal. Neal, no. Man, it's close between Walker, Wilson, and Charbonnet. I think Charbonnet could score. If it's a PPR format, I'm going to go with Wilson. If it's more of a standard format, I go with Walker. Simple as that. If it's a half-point PPR, I'll probably still side with the guaranteed touches there and Walker, but excellent options. Dave says Strange or Kincaid. When you're Strange, that's my play. James, Gainwell or Bucky. Now here I would go with Kenneth Gainwell. I think Bucky is going to get around 12 to 14 touches, and I could be wrong. Again, I don't have any inside information. This is me just trying to read between the lines and gauge the tea leaves accurately. So Gainwell, I do like in that dilemma there. Al says, on behalf of the 2.02, thanks for all that you do, sir. Thank you. Yes, and I appreciate you as well. And shout out to the 2.02. Still live and kicking. You know, a lot of people like, oh, I don't hear you on Sirius anymore. Where are you? Are you even doing radio? Dude, I got an even bigger show nationally across iHeart, Odyssey stations. It's called BetMGM Tonight. Yeah, we had a major announcement that came out a couple of weeks ago. I posted that out on social media. Show's growing and really excited about what we have in store in the new year. So listen to it. Monday through Friday, 7-11 p.m. Eastern are the times now, and then that may be changing here in short order, maybe moving up a little bit. But yeah, check out BetMGM Tonight, streaming on those stations, streaming as well, the video version on my website for free at thegamingjuice.com. DJ says, Adado Warren in the flex and in PPR, give me Warren there. And Steve says, full PPR, Shakir or Wandale. First game back for Jackson Dart. Not a great matchup. Man, it's close. Give me Khalil Shakir, but man, that's flip a coin. Dead serious on that one. All right. I'm Brad Evans, folks. I have a website. It's called thegamingjuice.com. Go there. Check it out. It's absolutely free. I offer all of my fantasy football opinions, all of my sports betting opinions. I got my spreadsheet of sports betting picks there. Yes, they're my real plays. If I put it on the sheet, I actually put actual money behind it. I always put my money where my mouth is, and I always track everything, my progress. I'm not trying to sell you a damn thing. Oh, my picks are the hottest picks. I'm up 1 billion units. I'm not a snake oil salesman like those individuals. I'm just a normal betting dude like you or dudette. So by all means, check out all my free plays at thegamingjuice.com. Those are the ways to get a hold of me right now. If you got any last minute questions ahead of the fantasy football week 13 main slate, you got to reach out right now on Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at Big Noise 78, YouTube, the Fade the Noise channel, or on X, where I'm giving it to you right now via Noisy Weibo. See it again. Go to my website, thegamingjuice.com. Sign up. It's free. You get all of me. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and beers into the site. I don't make any money. I don't charge you any money either. I'm a strong advocate for free content. We might go to subscription base eventually. I don't know if we're going to get there. I got to debate a lot here the next few weeks, entering the new year and see where things go. But please check out my website. I'm not charging a dime as we are speaking right now. So, yeah, fire off a question. Click Ask Brad during the week, and I get back and answer at my leisure, at my convenience. I'm all about accessibility, and I'm all about building a community. So sign up for free, you jackals, there at thegamingjuice.com. And go to my friends at Betalytics and use that promo code JUICE. Again, promo code JUICE for 25% off their awesome projections today. All right, we did get a couple of more questions. Al's got one more. Taysom worth a look today versus Kittle with the weather in Cleveland. No, I'm not going to go with Taysom Hill. I'm going to go with George Kittle. I understand that the weather may be of concern, and it is because of the breezy nature, but the short field pass game is still going to work because football is aerodynamic. If you saw that, it's shaped like a pill. If it's spun right, it can cut through the wind. And, of course, Kittle is a big and reliable target there in the red zone. So I stick with him. Ryan says one more amigo PPR start two between Ibuka, McConkey, or Judkins. Kind of like Judkins today, and I like McConkey. It seems crazy to possibly set him at Ibuka, but even with Baker Mayfield on the field, he's been a bit of a slump. So I'm going to go with ladder two there. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Dave, for the note. Sean says, thanks and good luck this Sunday. It appears I've exhausted all of your questions. I think I'm going to be on Bleacher Report coming up here in a few minutes. I don't know. I've got a notification. We may or may not be on air. Regardless, you can check that out if we are on air. If not, we're going to be back next Sunday for the start sit, another edition of Bring the Noise on that network. So it streams on the app and on YouTube. I'll be around these next few weeks, although I'm scaling back some of the content offerings I have. As many of you in fantasy have already dropped off. Some of you still scratch and claw and trying to get that playoff spot. Some of you as well are already punched your ticket for the postseason, so you're in cruise control. So again, I'll be out here trying to answer your questions the best I can over the next couple of weeks, but we will be scaling content back on the site. A couple of more questions did come in while I was rambling. James says, who's a player that you were high on before the season did not pan out as you thought? It's probably my boy getting down with some Chase Brown. Really not his fault. Because of the offensive line, issues. I knew about that. But B, Burrow's absence. Now, Brown is really started to turn it on here down the home stretch. I thought he would be possibly a top 5 running back. Has not been that. So, that was somebody I was high on that hasn't lived up to the enormous expectations that I had. There's probably a number of other guys that I'm forgetting right now, James. But I'll probably do a post-mortem once the season wraps. Shy says, QB start, Bo Nix, ? Or anyone else on waivers. Dude, play Bo Nix. Washington is the worst in the NFL in drop-back EPA defense. Maximize the matchup. Dowdle or Harrison. I go Rico there all day long. And that is a wrap. Again, I appreciate you all coming out for this edition of Bring the Noise. Check out thegamingjuice.com. Check out Betalytics with that promo code JUICE for 25% off. Listen, watch my shows, the Fate 5 podcast on 8 London. We'll have a new episode tomorrow. And to BetMGM tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Odyssey stations, iHeart stations, and the video version streams right here on thegamingjuice.com. Good luck in your fantasy football endeavors and bets as well. And until next time, adios, amigos. Get after it and get that dub.